Solent students are backing a campaign to improve the safety of female students when they go out. The hashtag Girls Night In campaign looks to get women to boycott nightclubs and bars after a rise in incidents of spiked drinks across the city and the country as a whole. The boycott takes place next Wednesday. We'll hear from the student union about the action they are taking to protect female students in our 1:30 bulletin. As doctors today urge the government to take action to reduce COVID infection rates, the COVID rates for Southampton are on the rise. There has been an increase in COVID-19 infections with over 1,300 new cases over the last 7 days. There are 45 people in hospital. Research by the Consumer Data Research Centre has mapped out how healthy Southampton is and also how unhealthy Southampton is. It takes into account positive factors and negative factors. Positive factors include things like access to healthcare like GP surgeries or dentists, and negative factors include things like access to fast food areas, tobacconists or off licences. Overall, Bannister Park is actually quite an unhealthy place to live, whereas places like Millbrook are very healthy. Over half of Southampton is ranked quite an unhealthy area when you take into account green spaces, even though the green spaces in Southampton won awards in the past few weeks. The research that shows a difference in crime, education and housing over the past 10 years or so. This has been Millie for Solent Journalism.
Well, I've not really been told much about, or anything about a mask mandate. This is the first time hearing about it, so I've not had any emails or any...
No prior warning?
No prior warning. I mean, there's usually a slow curve when people, there will be a few at the start who will not wear the mask, but it'll sink in and people will eventually.
So do you mean just people, some people will start and then over time it'll...
They'll keep getting told not to and then they'll eventually get the message. Immediate effect is interesting considering I've not been told about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just potentially walk into the library without wearing a mask and I wouldn't know. I don't know. It seems probably a good idea. Cases are spiking. So if nothing else, people need to understand that COVID isn't going away, that we can't just go back to normal right now, and some things are going to have to come back in.
Staff at Southampton University Hospital are being urged to remain vigilant following the shocking events that unfolded in Liverpool last Sunday. The University Hospital in Southampton has said that the safety of their staff and patients is their highest priority. Last night, the burnt-out remains of the taxi involved in the attempted terror attack were removed by investigation officers from outside the Women's Hospital in Liverpool. Now hospitals around the country have been warned to keep a lookout for anything suspicious. Carers like those working at Hebron Court behind me would need to be double vaccinated by tonight, otherwise they could lose their jobs. People who are exempt from the COVID vaccine will not need to be vaccinated and be able to keep their jobs. Family members and friends who visit people in care homes do not need to be vaccinated, but people like hairdressers who come into these places, they do need to be vaccinated. We spoke to a care worker earlier about what they think.
I believe it should have been implemented earlier. The fact that it's only now being implemented it seems completely backwards to me, because even discounting COVID as a thing, you have to be vaccinated to do anything. If you're going to another country, you have to be vaccinated to go to that other country. If you're going into an extremely dangerous job, you need to be taking all the precautions you can to both protect yourself and others. The fact that this is only coming up due to COVID is a really dangerous thing, and the fact that this misinformation is being sort of spread at such a wildfire rate is terrifying.
NHS workers do also need to be vaccinated by April, otherwise they too could lose their jobs. This is Millie for Solent Journalism. I don't care if you think it's too soon. Time now for some festive news. The Southampton Christmas lights are being turned on at 7 p.m. this evening. It's been 2 years since this has happened, thanks of course to the pandemic. Our reporter Hannah de Bolts is at the market to tell us all.